Hello there, Emma. I'm just messaging to tell you that you should marry Gerald and not Tony.
Mimi, please. How many times have we already had the same conversation? The man that I've been dating this whole time is Tony, and he's the man I'm going to marry.
What are you talking about? I need to make sure that Gerald gets married before his brother. I've realized that when Tony brought you home with him that I had to do something to help Gerald find a wife quickly. So anyways, that's why you're going to be marrying Gerald instead. And I won't take no for an answer.
Mimi, you can say whatever you'd like, but it isn't going to change my mind about this. I'm going to marry Tony, and that's final. I mean, I don't even think I've spent more than an hour cumulatively with Gerald.
But I'm sure that you would come to love him if you just knew him a little better. I promise that he really is an amazing guy, and you wouldn't regret marrying him. Don't make me force this to happen. Don't forget that the two of you are married now. If you try and break this off or do anything to ruin the fact that you're engaged to Gerald, I will sue you into oblivion. Do you understand?
I seriously have no idea how to even respond to this, but please don't spout this crazy nonsense and then threaten me with legal action. Anyways, I have to go. Hey, Tony, I'm really sorry to bug you while you're away on your business trip. But it's just that your mom started talking to me about marrying your brother again.
You're kidding me. I thought that you talked to her about that.
In fact, apparently in her head, she seems to think that Gerald and I are already engaged or something. There was one time she told me that if I broke off my engagement with him, that she would sue me.
Emma, I am so sorry that you're having to deal with all this right now. I wish my mom would stop all this nonsense.
I mean, I wonder how Gerald himself feels about all this. Probably doesn't like being put in this situation any more than I do. Feels like your mom would be the kind of person to push this, whether or not the both of us wanted it or not.
I think you're probably right about that. But actually, I talked to Gerald a little bit about this earlier.
Really? I didn't know you two were still talking. When was the last time that you even had a good chat with each other? If I remember correctly, you two haven't been the closest of people ever since Gerald quit his job at the big company and shut himself up in his room.
I know that it seems that way, but that's not what's really happening at all.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the real reason why he quit his first job was because he was in the process of publishing his first book.
Oh, really? I had no idea that Gerald wrote anything.
Well, it's already a bestseller and has even been picked up by some streaming service to be turned into a show.
That's amazing! He must be so proud!
I would think so. But he's basically doing all of this online, so he hasn't had the need to go into the office or even leave his room, really. Besides, he's always more of an indoor person anyways. I think he's probably glad to have less reasons to leave the house now.
Oh, I see. So, that's how things are.
But I think that he still hasn't told anyone that he's gone and published his book already. I think he's just worried that if Mom finds out, she will just use it to brag to everyone she knows about him and just never give him any peace or privacy. So that's why he's been pretending to be the antisocial shut-in this whole time. He's really just waiting for the right timing to come forward about this since he knows it's going to be a big deal. I think that Mom knows that you also work for a big company though. And so she wants you and Gerald to get married because she thinks he needs someone to take care of him.
So then, I think that I'm going to marry your brother and do everything for him on top of that?
Well, that's what my mom thinks. But Gerald doesn't want that at all.
Oh, well, as long as he understands that it isn't going to happen, that's good.
Right. So anyways, while we were talking, he explained all this to me and apologized for seeming to act so standoffish. But now the problem is how to move forward from here. In fact, Gerald was kinda hoping that you and I would be able to help him come out to the world as an author.
He wants our help with that. How so?
Well, the first thing I should let you know is that Gerald already has a fiancée.
Hold on a second, he does? I had no idea.
But yesterday, my mom was going on about how he needs to marry you again. Gerald mentioned something about already being engaged, however, and I guess my mom just assumed that he meant he was engaged to you. She thought that he was already in on her plan and was moving forward with it. You know that my mom probably wouldn't even listen to anything that proved the contrary.
Wow, your mom just really lives in her own world sometimes, doesn't she?
She has always been like this though, ever since we were little. Our mom has always tried to control every little thing we did and manage our lives.
You've told me a little bit about that before, but I feel bad for your brother having to deal with that.
But now that mom has got it in her head that Gerald is engaged to you, he is worried that that is going to make things very difficult with his own fiancée, and that is what he wants our help with. So we're going to wait for a day when mom is at home for all of us to meet and talk face to face.
Wow, this is all so much. You've been thinking about this a lot.
Well, this is going to be the talk where we can all finally decide how to get my mom out of our lives once and for all.
That's a pretty heavy task, but if you want help, just let me know what I can do.
Hello there, Emma. I assume the preparations for the wedding are continuing along nicely? And I imagine that you've already divorced Tony, yes?
I actually haven't done that at all, actually.
Excuse me? What are you doing? You need to get a divorce right now.
That's just not going to happen. In fact, Gerald said that it was a surprise for you that I wouldn't not be divorcing Tony, in fact.
A surprise for me? What is that supposed to mean?
I don't really know all the details, and can't say any more than this. I also have to go right now. Bye!
I see. Maybe Gerald is planning some kind of dramatic way to announce his marriage to you for everyone. Well, if he wants this to be a surprise, then I guess I won't ask any more questions either. Emma, where are you? Why haven't you arrived yet? You know you need to get here early for makeup and to fit into your dress. You're so late already. Emma, answer me right now. I have had just about enough of this nonsense, Emma.
Sorry, what are you talking about right now, Mimi?
I mean that you are supposed to marry Gerald so that you can take care of him. But now I've just been told that you've made a last-minute cancellation and you're not even going to be here? How could you just leave my poor boy at the altar like that?
I don't really know how else to say this, but Gerald and I were never going to get married. In fact, I'm on my honeymoon right now, actually.
What do you mean you're on your honeymoon?
I mean that Tony and I are on our honeymoon right now. And I suppose it's a good time as any to say that Tony and I got married in secret about 2 weeks ago.
But I don't get it. Gerald is here and he's still getting ready for the wedding.
Oh, I see. Well, either way, Tony and I have no intention of separating. And I was never going to marry Gerald either.
I won't let you get away with this. I mean, just who do you think is going to pay for all of this? You know that Gerald doesn't work. He can't afford something like this.
I don't know what is happening over there, and I don't want to. Please leave Tony and I out of it, okay? Now, goodbye.
Emma, you get back here right now and explain what's going on! What is going on here? I am still so confused.
What are you talking about this time, Mimi?
I mean that Gerald. My poor sweet little Gerald.
What about Gerald? Did something happen?
Well, he had to cancel the wedding since his bride never showed up. So he told me that he would take care of the cleanup and just go home. But then after I left, apparently some totally random lady showed up. And Gerald married her.
So then the wedding wasn't canceled after all.
I guess not. But I don't even know who this person is.
I'd probably guess it's the woman that Gerald was dating and then engaged to.
What are you talking about? Gerald wasn't seeing anyone because he was supposed to be marrying you. I think I would know if my son was engaged to someone.
Are you really sure about that?
Of course I am. But this is all your fault. You're the one making this happen. You stabbed my son in the back, and now you've made him marry some stranger out of desperation. How do you sleep at night?
Mom, you've got to stop this. It's getting ridiculous.
Tony, what is this all about?
Did you really have no idea that Gerald was seeing this girl this whole time?
Why are you talking to me about your brother? If you're mad at him for trying to steal your wife, go talk to him about it.
Mom, he was never trying to do anything like that. You were the one that got it in your head to try and set up Kenna with Gerald, but neither of them wanted that. Gerald tried to tell you that he was already engaged, but you only heard what you wanted to hear and thought that it meant to Emma. You always do this. You never listen to when other people try to say when you're wrong.
How can you say something like that to your own mother?
Because it's true. Speaking of, have you seen Gerald's room?
What about his room? Give me a moment. I don't get it. What is going on? The whole room is totally empty. There's nothing left.
Well, it was all Gerald's idea, really. Although he left you a note explaining things in your mailbox. I would read that very carefully so you can understand how Gerald and I really feel about all of this. Although it's way too late to change our minds now. This is my last goodbye, Mom. Have a nice life.
Wait, no, Tony! I still don't understand!
In the end, Gerald stopped talking to his mom without ever telling her what he really did for a living. Now he lives with his wife close to her parents. Tony and I have also moved recently as part of a job transfer. The new job was partially for better pay, but also because Tony didn't want his mom barging into the office and embarrassing him. She actually did do that, but it was too late and we were already gone. Also, Tony asked the receptionist at his office to tell her that we had quit. With no way to track us down, Mimi was left with no family to turn to, and lives out her days in her big empty house all by herself.
Hannah, are you there? If you have a minute, there is something I need to talk to you about.
Oh, Bridget. Hello. I am actually at work right now, so if we could please talk about this later, that would really help me out.
Wait, what? You have a job? I didn't know you worked. When did you start this? Or is it just a cute little part-time job or something?
Oh? Really? I didn't realize you didn't know. But yes, I do work. And it is a full-time career, thank you very much.
Well, this is the first that I am hearing of it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Well, now you know, I guess. Anyways, I really need to get back to work, so...
Well, you should have told me when you came and introduced yourself to all your neighbors. How inconsiderate of you!
I feel like I must have told you. But anyways, like I said, I'm at work right now, so I really have to get going.
Wait, not yet. I have something I need to talk to you about, remember? It seems that my husband is going to get a big promotion this year. Isn't that amazing? Wait, what? Are you sure about that? When did this happen? Let me think. Your husband is assistant to the branch director for general affairs, right? Oh, wow. How did you know that? You must really do your homework. But yes, that's right. Basically, my husband is the most important person around these parts. Anyways, I just thought that was kind of important that the other wives in our area knew that little fact about my hubby. And me. So I just thought you should know. Well, I appreciate the information. Thanks. But I'm curious. Where did you hear that your husband was going to be promoted? I thought that the list for promotions hadn't come out yet. Well, I'm sure it's all but official. Just wait for the announcement. You'll see. Okay, well, my meeting is about to start, so I have to go now. Goodbye! Just one more thing before you go. To celebrate his promotion, I thought it would be fun to have a big dinner. And since I want this to be a big surprise, make sure you don't tell Dan anything about this, okay? I want to plan it all in secret. Of course, I was thinking, for something this special, only a really nice steakhouse would do. I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be a pretty famous one downtown. I was thinking about going there. And I was thinking of making reservations for about 30 or so people. I thought that we could invite a few others from the neighborhood. And you're invited to all of this too, of course, Hannah. Since you're the newest resident of our humble neighborhood, I thought that I would show you a little kindness and invite you along too. Hello? Hannah? Hannah, my messages aren't showing up as read right now. Hello? Are you there? I am trying to be nice to you right now. You really think your work is a good enough excuse to get away with ignoring me? I am the leader of all the wives in our neighborhood. You better not try and mess with me. So, that's how it's going to be. Well, I won't let you just get away with this unscathed. Don't forget, all of our kids go to the same school, too. We're all mom friends now, too. And I'm the leader of all of them. That is why you obviously should be prioritizing talking and listening to me rather than using your work as an excuse to not read these messages. Hello? Hannah? Are you serious right now? I can't believe this. You have really got some nerve. Well, I guess I have no choice to penalize you for this. I can only hope this makes you learn your lesson. Don't forget, you're still new here. You've got a lot to learn about the chain of command, so you better stop acting so uppity and arrogant. I think you need to be punished. Hannah, are you there? I have a quick question for you. I think I might have asked you this before, but I guess I must have forgotten. What does your husband do for a living again? Isn't he like the head of one of the departments in the company or something? My husband? I think that even if I explained it to you, you wouldn't really get it. Excuse me? And what is that supposed to mean? You're just trying to hide the truth, aren't you? I bet he's just some low-level office drone like the rest of them. Now, Bridget, let me explain something to you. Normally, I don't text during work, but since we've only recently met, I didn't want to be rude and decided to interrupt my work to respond to you. But texting for too long at work like this is not only really distracting, it could cause some trouble around the office if it goes on for too long. What are you talking about right now? I know that sometimes there are emergencies and that sometimes it is necessary to get back to someone, even while working. But I want you to know that unless it is an emergency, I will no longer be responding to any of your messages while I'm at work. You what? Who do you think you are right now? Anyways, I have some work I need to do on the plane, so I'll be going now. Plane? Are you traveling somewhere for work? Yes, it's the first day of a business trip for me. Once I touch down, I'll be busy, so I need to finish some of this work now. I'm going now. Well, it's not like I care about what you're doing anyways, so there. Also, about the party to celebrate my husband's promotion, like I said, it's going to be at the steakhouse downtown. I've made the reservation, so everything should be ready to go. I invited you because it's my job as the leader to bring you to these kinds of functions, so you better be there. It's going to start right at noon tomorrow. Got it? I better see you there or else. You're new here, so you don't have any excuse to not be there. I won't allow it. Hello? Do you understand what I'm saying? Hannah, are you there? It is already past 12 o'clock. Where are you? Are you really going to make someone who is doing you such a huge favor wait? I had a feeling you would do this, but I wanted to trust you because I'm so kind. But of course you aren't going to show up. How could I expect any less of you? Well, now I am going to make you pay for this whole meal for my husband's promotion. There are 30 people here, you know. I bet the bill will easily be in the thousands. And that bill is just going to grow with every passing moment with all the food we'll be ordering. So if you don't want to have to foot that bill, you better get over here right this instant. We're going to be starting any second now, so you better hurry. Hey! It has been a whole hour. Do you know that? Hannah, do you think that what I said earlier was a joke? I was being 100% serious with you. Even if the bill ends up being $1 million, I am still going to make you pay for every last cent. Do you hear me? I follow through with what I say. You better remember that. You're in big trouble now. All right, I'll give you another hour. And if you're not here, then I am going to put in the next round of orders and you'll have to pay for all of those too. The total is only going to go up, you know. Every second you ignore me, you're just hurting yourself. You know, Hannah, I really hoped that we could be friends, but I think that you still just don't understand how things work around here. I am the leader of the wives in our neighborhood. Do you understand me? That means that what I say goes. I just hope this punishment teaches you the lesson you so valuably need. All right then, I guess I'll put in some more orders. Thankfully, everybody who did come brought their appetites with them. Bridget, what are all of these messages? What do you think you're trying to pull with all of this? Oh, look who finally decided to read their messages. And I'm the one who should be asking you that question. Did you really think you could just miss this meal in honor of my husband and get away with it? This is what happens to uppity little newcomers who move into my neighborhood and try to disobey me. If you would just let me take care of you like the good leader that I am, then none of this would be happening to you right now. None of what? Well, I think everyone here is just about stuffed to the brim with all the delicious, expensive food we got to try. All thanks to you, of course. So you know, the total for all of it was $5,700. It was how much? Did you all really eat that much food? That is insane! Well, of course. We had about 30 people show up after all. But surely all of those people couldn't have just been the other moms from our area, right? That's right. It wasn't just those ladies. Of all the people that came, 11 of them were my followers from our neighborhood. 9 were some lackeys I picked up at yoga class, and the rest were just good friends of mine. Some of them even brought their husbands. And that totaled to about 30 people? Wow, that is quite a crowd. Well, of course. I know it seems like a lot, but this party was a big deal. How could I not throw something this huge for my husband's promotion? Anyways, hurry and get here. We're all waiting on you to pay for the bill. Bridget, I am not going. I already told you that I am away on a business trip. There is no way I could go even if I wanted to now. Wait, what do you mean? You ran away? Where are you going? What? No! I told you yesterday that I was on a plane for a business trip. A trip that I am still in the middle of and will not be coming home from for a while. Even if I did pack up and leave right now, it would still take me 3 hours to fly back. What? Wait, you can't be serious, right? You mean you can't make it back here to pay? Oh no. Hold on, I need to call my husband really quick. Hold on, your husband isn't there? I thought this whole thing was in his honor, but he's not even there? That seems a little bit strange, don't you think? Well, yes. He said he had some last-minute work come up and told me that he wouldn't be able to make it. So we all gave a toast in his honor. But no, he didn't actually attend. Are you sure he wasn't busy going back to and packing up all the stuff in your house? What are you talking about? Why would he have to leave our home? You're not making any sense. Well, because last month your husband was fired. That's why. Excuse me? And just what makes you think that? If I recall correctly, the word on the street was that he was planning on moving out to Texas where his family lives. Wait, what? When was this? I never heard of anything like that. Didn't he mention any of this to you? Wow, sounds like you two have a really healthy relationship. Well, Dan told me that he was getting promoted to company president today. Oh, about that. It came out that he actually took credit for another employee's achievements in order to secure the promotion, and so all of that fell apart. He did. What now? When did all of this happen? Well, at first a demotion and pay cut were being considered. But after talking a bit to some of the employees under him, it was revealed just how awful he was to them, and the decision was made to fire him instead. All of his employees more or less agreed that he would always wield his power over them in inappropriate ways and constantly belittled them and create an unpleasant work environment. Unpleasant work environment? What do you mean by that? Well, in order to confirm some of these reports, I was sent to your branch temporarily in order to assess whether they were true or not. Kind of like an undercover HR person? Is that even a thing? It is. And I have already picked up and recorded so many issues here that, frankly, I have been floored. But of course, the source of so many of the complaints, not only from the company but from the HOA too, all trace back to you and Dan. But you know, even your own husband said that he had always done whatever you told him to do. And that it wasn't until he was fired that he really snapped out of it. He told me he wanted to turn over a new leaf. All of this while he was bawling his eyes out in front of me. Hannah, just who are you? What do you even do here? Well, my real position at this company is as director of sales. Wait, hold on just a moment there. I thought the director of sales was the company president's only daughter and was up next to become the president once he steps down. So, that means that you... Yes, correct. And that person is me. What? Also, just to clear the record, My husband works for an entirely different company. But, no. This can't be right. I'm not the bad person here. You are. If I knew any of that, then I wouldn't have done half the things I did. Bridget, is this really the time for you to be blaming me for your mistakes? Don't you have more pressing matters at hand? What? What do you mean? Well, what are you going to do about your impressive steak bill? Do you think the restaurant has already called the police? No. You don't think they really would, do you? Well, it's not like you can tell them I am on my way to pay it or anything. This can't be happening. What should I do? How did this happen? Hannah, we need to talk. Yesterday, the restaurant did end up calling the police on me. And then, when I got home that night, Dan said he wanted a divorce. He already put in the paperwork from the time I tried to threaten him with them during one of our fights. Now he says that since he's gotten fired, he just wants to go back to live near his family and learn to take over their ranch. He even took the kids with him. But I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I don't have any kind of savings or anything. Well, I did. But yesterday, when the police made me pay the restaurant, I used up all of the savings I had. There's no way I can win the kids back if I don't even have an income. I had to beg my sister to take me in, but she was also furious with me. She told me I could stay for a month, and after that she's gonna kick me out whether or not I found a job. How did it all come to this? What am I supposed to do? This is hopeless. Hannah, please. I am begging you. I mean, you're going to be the next president of the company. Surely there is something you can do. Or you must have some kind of idea of how to get out of this mess. Hannah, the least you could do is open these messages. I am pouring my heart out here. Don't you pity me for all of this? After that, the other messages Hannah sent to me were while I was in the middle of a meeting that ended up running quite long, and I couldn't read them as they popped up as notifications anymore. Of course, I couldn't get back to her right away, but I really did think it was too bad that she still couldn't take any responsibility right down to the bitter end. I guess she just never figured out how to separate her work life from her personal life. Even after she found a part-time job and her sister kicked her out, I heard that she got so many infractions for showing up late after sleeping in. Some days she wouldn't even go back to work after her lunch break was over. Even when she would finally show up to work, she would spend all the time on her phone shopping. And when her boss would get mad at her, she still couldn't understand what she did wrong. Anyways, with nobody there to help correct her behavior, she ended up operating some lines of credit to try and get out of the situation she had found herself in. But that just drove her deeper and deeper into a pit of debt that she may never get out of now.